Hello and welcome to New Zealand. On behalf of Sweet Serendipity Tours and myself, welcome to Auckland, the city of sails. I am Marcia Kalkman. I'm going to be your tour director for the next 10 days. And I am so excited that you have chosen to travel with us, and I hope you won't be disappointed. It is a beautiful time of year. This is May. It's a beautiful time of year to travel here in New Zealand. Considering May is our spring in North America, but in New Zealand it's autumn. So thinking about the weather, just consider, make sure you wear layers. That's kind of standard practice. In the North Island, where we're starting first, it will be a little bit warmer, but there may be some rain. So just normally pack a rain jacket, bring maybe an umbrella in your pack, wear sunscreen or bring some sunscreen, bring a hat just in case. And then when we travel to the South Island coming up, you'll need some warmer clothes. Now, remember that if you are feeling just a little dehydrated now, that means you should be drinking more, because jet lag, one of the ways you can mitigate some of the jet lag symptoms is to make sure you're drinking water. Let's make sure we're all on the same clock though. Let's see, right now I'm checking my watch. It is 7 a.m. New Zealand time. That means that it's 11 a.m. Los Angeles time, where you just left from, and it's yesterday. I am so sorry you lost a day of your life, but don't worry, you'll get it back coming back on the flight home. So tonight, try to stay awake until tonight. It'll help with the jet lag. Get some sleep after dinner, and then tomorrow you'll be hopefully feeling like a little bit more like yourselves. Now today we have a city tour scheduled for 10 o'clock a.m. It's a city tour of Auckland, and we're going to be able to give you just kind of a little roundabout what the city is like. It'll be an hour and a half. That'll give you time to get some ideas for what you want for lunch. It'll help you set your bearings. The water is safe to drink, the tap water in all places, and if you need to use the restrooms, don't worry, they're free here. And so we are going to meet downstairs in the lobby at 10 a.m. for our city tour. It is included. It's one of the few included things in our tour. Now, when we get to the hotel, you're going to be getting off of the bus. Your luggage is down below, and I'm going to stand by the exit. I'm going to give you a luggage tag. Please put this luggage tag on your bag so that I know and the bus driver knows that it is included in our group and not another group. Remember, this is an a la carte tour, so you only are allowed one bag, and you would have to pay extra if you get a second bag. The other thing too that maybe you're not used to, because this is an a la carte tour, we don't have people helping you with your luggage. You have to arrange that yourself, so you'll have to carry your own bag up to your room. Now, when we are out on our city tour today, and maybe you're noticing, because we're about 15 minutes away from the hotel now, you might be noticing some signs, some billboards that say, "Go All Blacks." So remember, we're not in the United States. This is New Zealand, and the All Blacks is their rugby team. And they are world famous in the world of rugby, which you may not be familiar with. So one of the really amazing things about this rugby team is that they do a traditional Maori war dance just before they start every single one of their matches. And so you'll have an opportunity to go there tomorrow. If you're a sporting person, we have an optional excursion out there so you can actually see that. So just don't be surprised if you see that on the sign. Now, for those of you guys who are not going to travel on one of the optional tours, tomorrow, Auckland is such a safe city. Along with New Zealand, New Zealand is known for being one of the safest places for tourists in the world. That being said, always carry a map with you. Always be careful of your belongings, as with any city. Don't go into dark alleys at night. Probably not a good idea anywhere in the world, right? So, but don't be afraid to ask the New Zealand people if you get lost. They are known for being friendly. They pride themselves on being helpful to tourists, and they would love to tell you their stories. So if you get a good one, make sure you bring it back to us so we can share in the fun. Now, after we're done in Auckland, we are going to drive to a town called Rotorua. Now, it's an unusual sounding name because it's in Maori, and it's a really fantastic area, one of my favorites. I just love New Zealand, can you tell? Because it's the fourth largest geothermal area in the world. And as we travel there, you'll look out the windows, you might see, and you might smell it before you see it. But one of the fabulous things we can do while we're there is go to one of the first people, the Maoris, very special Indigenous experience evening. And this is where you'll get to see the customs and the culture, eat some food, and you'll be able to buy some of the authentic tourist things that you might want to bring back. Maybe it's a mask or maybe a totem or something like that. But I highly recommend it. You'll notice that street signs are both in English and in the Maori's native language as we travel, especially in this region. You'll also don't be put off by tattoos, because the native people take pride. They came over about 1,000 years from the South Pacific Islands, we think, and they established their own language, their own culture, their own traditions, and so that's what will be shared at this evening. They may have tattoos on the face, so please just don't worry, it's kind of normal. Also, another thing is that they have a way of meeting one another. It's called the hangi, and they put their noses up to each other. They don't shake hands. Now that doesn't mean you have to do this, but you might notice other people doing that. Now, Lord of the Rings fans, I know some of you came along on this tour because of the optional tours for Lord of the Rings. We will not disappoint because we're spending 2 days in this area. And one of the places of the 2 Lord of the Rings options is Hobbiton, okay? 12 acres of Shire, walking to and forth. I know we're very excited about this one. Make sure you save room for your second breakfast. Okay.
Oh, yeah.
Yes, all right, Sam, again, yeah. So anyway, we're going to have to leave that area. We only get 2 days. Then we're going to take a flight down to Queenstown. And you adrenaline junkies on this trip, you have many options here. From bungee jumping, which was created here in New Zealand. I can't believe you're going to do it, but I know some of you will. We'll watch and enjoy all sorts of things. Skydiving. We'll have 3 days there. There's also another Lord of the Rings tour that you will be able to take. I know some of you are planning on that. And then we're going to go to Tekapo for only one night, but we need to stop there because it's a UNESCO Dark Night Reserve area where we have the option of going to observatory there. It's right up in the top of the mountains where you can see glaciers. You can take an airplane tour if the weather's nice and see these glaciers and some of the lakes. And then, of course, at night we have an optional excursion to go up to the observatory and see, hopefully if the weather's nice, we'll be able to see the Southern Cross, which is a constellation only visible in the Southern Hemisphere. Alas, I know, one night only, and then we head to the last stop, and it's Christchurch. And I know a lot of you will be sad, but don't worry, Christchurch is a lovely area. It's known as the Garden City, and there's so much to see there. I know you'll enjoy it. It might be a little cooler, but it's on the east coast of the southern island. Remember, anywhere you are in New Zealand, it's a very narrow island set. You're only 630 miles from any coast. And so that last stop that we have in Queenstown, Christchurch, remember you're right on the coast. And one of my favorite things that maybe you might be interested in is taking a whale watching tour, because this is one of the few places in the world where there are resident sperm whales. So that means they're there all year round. I can't promise you a whale, but we can go out and see what we can find. And again, since it's May, there are some migratory whales taking place at that time. Now, a little bit of housekeeping because we're pulling into the hotel really soon here. First of all, what's included in the tour is breakfast every day. Lunches and dinners are not included, but don't worry, every day I'll be available in the lobby. I have a handout for each of the hotels with restaurant suggestions, things to do. If you want to go walking around, don't worry, it is perfectly safe, like I said before. And another thing is, days that we're traveling, you are going to want to wake up early with me. I'm going to give you a set time for breakfast. Please be on time. Tipping when you go out is included. Notice there's a service charge. You'll need to carry your receipt to the cashier and pay at the cashier. The waiters don't handle the money. If you are in an emergency situation, 111 is what you dial. We pay by using the New Zealand dollar, and that is about 60 cents American to $1 New Zealand dollar. And we are pulling into the hotel right now, and so I'm going to get off the bus, hand you a luggage tag. Please put it on your suitcase. I'll meet you at the counter, give you your key to your rooms. And what time are we meeting downstairs in the lobby for our city tour?
10 o'clock.
10 o'clock! Good job! I will see you guys later, and I'll answer more questions then. Thank you.
Yay! Welcome to National Geographic Expeditions welcomes you to Iceland. My name is Jill McKenzie, and I get to be your tour operator this wonderful trip as we explore this beautiful country of fire and ice. I'm sure that some of you are feeling a little bit jet-lagged, so I have 3 suggestions that I would love to give you. Please drink lots of water. Second, don't drink any alcoholic beverages. Third, eat light. And fourth, when you're at the ship tonight and you're ready to go to bed, please try to go to sleep around the same time that you did at home. How many of you have water bottles? Excellent, excellent. All of you have water bottles. I'm seeing some families. I'm seeing some, ooh, that's a nice water bottle back there. I like that one. Excellent. If by chance you've forgotten a water bottle, it will be important for you to have one on this our next 10-day cruise through several cities. When we arrive, we'll arrive at the hospitality center. They have several of these beautiful water bottles that you may want to purchase so that you can keep it as a souvenir from your trip to Iceland. It's also very important that you drink lots of water, as I mentioned, for the jet lag, but did you know that Iceland is known for some of the purest water in all of the world? So don't be surprised if we're out on an excursion and you see me or your excursion leader take their water bottle and lean down and dip it into that running stream from the glacier, or if there's a beautiful spring along the way, you go ahead and drink it. And if you want to fill your water bottle, you can fill it from any tap in Iceland because the water is pure. The water comes from springs or the runoff from the glaciers. It's an incredible experience, so do not miss that. Let's check our time, everyone, shall we? It looks like, if you haven't adjusted your time, it's 6 a.m. exactly. Will you please adjust your watch to that time? Because there will be many times on your excursions or places you'll have to be, and we need you to be on time, so I appreciate you doing that. While we're talking about that, when we arrive at the hospitality center, we have 2 ATMs that you can take your credit card or your debit card, and you'll be able to put that in our ATMs. And don't be surprised that when you stick it in the ATM, you put in the amount of money, it comes back Icelandic kronas. The kronas right now is 138 kronas to 1 American dollar. You chose a perfect time to come to Iceland, because not only is the dollar even better and great, so your money will stretch and go further for you, but the weather is fabulous. It's an amazing time. It's about 15 to 20 degrees Celsius, but most of us are Americans, so it's going to be 55 to 70 degrees Fahrenheit. Looks like most of you have layers on. I'm looking. Excellent. Looks like you're all really prepared. What a great group. I think we're going to have so much fun. If you don't have a rain poncho, or if you don't have an umbrella at the hospitality center, they also have that included. Please buy one if you don't, because the weather in Iceland changes continuously. It's so beautiful. You're going to love it. Now, Iceland is known for being 98% English. So you will not have any issues when you need to ask questions or find directions or any of that. The people are known for their friendliness, and their hospitality is unwavered. I love Iceland, and I'm so grateful that we get to share this time together and get to explore together. Today, you're going to be exploring Reykjavik. And the way you're going to do that is once we get to the hospitality center, there's 2 ways that you can do it. First of all, I want you to have your taste buds ready and your cameras. Right across the street from the hospitality center is a world-known bakery called Born & Company. They have the most scrumptious cinnamon rolls that you have ever tasted. What a great way to start the morning, right? And you may have a cup of coffee, but if you're not into coffee, oh my, they have the best hot chocolate you can ever find. Make sure that when you ask for the hot chocolate, they'll ask you if you want whipped cream. Make sure that you tell them this much on top with a dash of cinnamon. It's such a sweet way to start the day. It's incredible. Also, when it comes to food for Iceland, just because Reykjavik is like the top, the capital, the top city closest to the Arctic Circle in the world, their range of food that they have is incredible. So don't put that down. Now, if some of you are afraid to try something new, a friend referred me to this wonderful Icelandic hot dog stand. You need to get there a little early before noon because there is a line that goes clear around the corner and they have the most wonderful sauce and onions that go on top. You will love that. However, if you are braver, you may want to try fermented shark. This has been a tradition that has existed for more than 500 years, and it has been a mainstay for the early settlers of Iceland, especially when the Vikings were here. I don't know if you know this, but you cannot eat that northern shark without fermenting it because it's poisonous. And so they figured that out, I assume, because some people may have died. So put it in the ground, let it ferment, and it didn't kill anybody. Isn't that amazing? So please try that. It will definitely be an experience you will not forget. You may need to have some mints or something to get that taste out of your mouth, but definitely try it. You cannot leave Iceland without it. When it comes to exploring Reykjavik, I suggest you flaneur. That word means explore without intention. You're going to cross the street and head west to some of the old streets in the city. They have taken stone and brick and timbers and have molded them into the most incredible architecture that you will find. They've painted them with eye-popping, vibrant colors that makes Reykjavik a happy, incredibly vibrant city. As you're going down some of the old streets, you will notice that there are plaques that have been placed on every street and tells you some of the history and some of the lore of the place. And you won't want to miss this, so keep your eyes open for that. How many of you have your passports? May I see? Pull them out. Raise them up. Oh, excellent, excellent. Okay, hold on to these passports because in a few minutes I'm going to be coming around and I will be gathering them up. This is important for us to keep a record of that. Later this evening, I will have them for you on the ship after dinner when we have a slight dessert reception that we have planned to talk more about the tour into all of the cities that we will be touring. When it comes to traveling in the city of Reykjavik, there are 3 ways. Walking, as I said, which is flaneur, exploring without intent. The next one is if you decide that takes too long and you have a little bit of zoomies in you, get going. Just down the street is beautiful and wonderful, funny electric scooters that gets a little bit more speed and will take you around the city in fashion. The next thing is at the hospitality center, we sell city cards. And these city cards are, you purchase the card and you can get on any bus in the city for the whole day. And you also get access to the museum and several of the city hot pools. It's amazing. You're definitely going to want to probably buy this card. On the way back, you will also have one more day. When the ship docks, you will have a day before you get taken to the airport that you can use the city card as well and experience some of the things you may have missed today. When I come and gather your passports, I will have a sheet or a card that will have wonderful places to see and things to do here in Reykjavik. It also has the addresses, so if you do get lost and you ask somebody, if you have the address, they'll be able to tell you where you need to go. You should be able to get around the city. It's only a few kilometers. There's 140,000 people that live here, so it's a very quaint, wonderful town, and you will find that you will almost feel that homey feeling from the people and from the town itself. Bags, let's talk about your bags. You each get 1 bag each. When I come and collect your passports, I'm also going to give you a tag for your luggage. It's very important that when we get off the bus, you find your luggage as it's being unloaded by our wonderful driver, Frank. I'm so glad that he's there. Please be sure and say hi to him. He'd love to get to know you a little bit. Put the tag on your baggage so that it will not get lost. I will be in charge of your luggage, and we will be taking it to the ship after we stop at the Hospitality Center, and it will be taken directly to your stateroom. This morning at the Hospitality Center, I will be available from 8 to 9 a.m. to answer any questions that you may have or to check any of your excursions. So it will be very nice to visit with you. Be back at 4 p.m. today at the Hospitality Center because we will start loading onto the ship. The ship will leave at 5:30. Dinner will be served at 6 p.m. in the dining room. And then we will have our meeting later this evening to talk more about our tour. There are several things in Iceland that you're going to get to experience. It will be wonderful. You will get to walk among the craters of the volcanoes. You get to hike or snowmobile on top of the glaciers. You'll be able to ride one of the Icelandic ponies, visit a farm and see how they raise their wonderful goods. And in conclusion, I'm just so grateful that you chose National Geographic Expedition to tour with this trip.
I'm ready for my close-up, Mr. David. Good morning, everyone, and welcome to the beautiful city of Ljubljana, Slovenia.
Yay.
My name is Bridget Rohan Kelly, and I am going to be your tour director for the next 14 days. And I want to welcome you all to Slovenia on behalf of Otra Travel. As you'll notice, we are up in the Julian Alps, and sometimes getting a good breath of air. It's really fresh up here, but you're gonna notice there's a little bit of a difference in elevation. So do as I do. If you have a glass of water, let's take a sip right now all together.
Absolutely.
Now I want to take this time to commend you all on your choice of traveling destinations. This is one of Europe's truest hidden gems, and I'm also personally very thankful because if you all aren't such great adventurers and the type of people who want to travel a little off the beaten path, I wouldn't get to be here with you, experiencing some of the amazing things that we get to see. This is truly one of my favorite tours because wow, nobody thinks about it. We're right between Croatia, right by Italy, right by Austria, and here's quiet little Slovenia just waiting in the shadows for you to say, hey, where have you been all my life? So, welcome again to Ljubljana. Now, as we're all here, we're all met now, it's about midday. I have taken the liberty of course, having a bit of an early check-in. So for those of you that have had kind of a longer flight and really just need to decompress before enjoying the rest of our tour together, you're welcome to take the rest of the day at your leisure. But those of us who are a little bit more of a go-getter and ready to hit the ground running, the sun is still high in beautiful Ljubljana, so this is your opportunity to enjoy the rest of this day. There's lots to see and do here. We are right here in our hotel, Hotel Ljubljana. You will not forget the name. It's the name of the capital city where we are. We're right by the river. There's tons of things to see and do. You can take a tour of all the bridges in the area. There's some incredible food. If you do have the opportunity to swing by a cafe and you see on the menu that there is a hot chocolate, do me a favor and get one. It will change your life. You'll never be the same. You'll become an addict, then you'll blame me, but I'm with you. So it is the most incredible hot chocolate you've ever had, and absolutely worth it. The national language in Slovenia is Slovenian. However, they love tourists here. Like I mentioned before, it's a bit of a hidden gem, and so the opportunity to have more travelers, have more tourists, they're very proud of their country, and it's a beautiful, safe, and healthy country. So they really want to put on a good show. A lot of people speak English. If you get turned around and you're out on your leisure time, don't worry. Feel free to ask questions of, the local shop owners, and they'll help direct you right back. Tomorrow, those of us who will be taking today's rest, don't worry, you're still going to have the opportunity to explore this incredible city. We're going to start tomorrow with a bus tour of the city. And then the rest of the day, we're going to have a little bit more leisure time, tons of beautiful food options, incredible things that you're going to have the opportunity to see and taste, some museums, things like that. After we finish our time here in Ljubljana, we will be taking a trip down to the coastal city on the Adriatic of Piran. But on our way there, we have one of my favorite stops in the world, which is the Castle Predjama. And this is a castle unlike any other. It is a medieval castle that is built into a karst rock formation. It doesn't mean anything to you now, but when you see it, you'll understand. It's a castle built into a cave. So if we have any Lord of the Rings fans, I know a lot of people travel because of little local things like that. Walking through this castle, which we will have the opportunity to do, it's like walking through a rustic version of the Mines of Moria.
Ooh.
And these caves go four stories deep, so you'll have the opportunity to do that. There's a soft biking excursion around that area, but if you're not into that, there's also the opportunity to truly explore the castle. It is a medieval castle, so there's the opportunity to see what it would be like to live in that time period. The kitchens are open, and there's incredible docents there who give us a lot of information, as well as a torture chamber. If there's one thing I know, in every city in the world, there's probably a torture chamber exposition that we can explore, or a jail, or a prison. I don't know why, but I always find myself finding one. There is also the opportunity to explore those incredible caves. The Pryama Castle is also known as a fairy tale castle embraced by rock, but I think it's so much more than that. So that will be that time before we make our way over to Piran. Piran itself is, like I mentioned before, a coastal city, and so you're going to have the opportunity to have some of the most amazing seafood. It's right on the Adriatic, and if you've traveled to other countries along the Adriatic coast, you'll probably see some familiarity, but this one's a little bit different. Very seaside, all terracotta colored roof tiles. I mean, it feels like a fairy tale. But we're not in Italy, even though we are only about 6 to 8 kilometers away at any given point from the Italian border. So some of the food there, if you're not into seafood, there's also some very familiar fare if you do like Italian food. A lot of the food in the region is very similar. I may have mentioned before, no, I don't think I had the opportunity to. It's good to have cash in hand. Slovenia uses the euro. And so when I am visiting local countries and things like that, what I like to do is have cash in hand. It's really helpful to the shopkeepers, to the restaurateurs in the area to have that, but also it makes tipping a little bit easier. They don't tip like those of us who are Americans do necessarily, where we kind of start with the 15, 20, 25. It's a little bit different. It's more common to just round your bill up. I like to tip. It's not necessarily expected, but I find that when I am a guest in a country, I want to show my appreciation for them making us feel so welcome here. So rounding up your bill, if that's the most convenient way for you, and having cash in hand to do so will really be helpful. The other alternative is 10% is just fine. So while we are in Piran, there will be, on our second day there, a city tour. Lots of things to see and do. It will be very exciting. And also, this is some great seaside time, so you can feel free to take a little bit of leisure, because the upcoming few days will be a little bit more rigorous for those adventure seekers. So take your time relaxing there, and then we will be heading up to the town of Bovec. City, town. It's up in the Julian Alps, and it's truly remarkable, and that's where our adventure seekers are really going to find their opportunity to do the things that were promised. So in Bovec, there is the Parishnik waterfall. That is a hike that we will have as an optional excursion. One of the things about this particular hike is you can go behind the waterfall, which is really quite amazing. There is the opportunity as well to visit the Vintner Gorge. Now, the Vintner Gorge is this incredible and well-loved in Slovenia. A lot of people are very, very proud of it. Some of the locals will say it is so calming, and the colors are just so amazing that when we visit it, it's really important. Now, this is also a place where if you're a hiker, it's a little bit more rigorous of a hike, but it's very peaceful when we get to that point. It is a one-way trek, so be aware of that. We're not going to be doubling back. And while we will be doing some of our other experiences a little earlier in the morning on that particular day, it's going to be in the afternoon. After we visit that, we will spend we will take our trip to our last destination, which is Bled. Bled is one of the most well-known points within Slovenia. Lake Bled is incredible. You will get a chance to see and experience such a beautiful city. The Church of Saint Mary, the Mother of God, right on the lake, is probably the most well-known image that people have of Slovenia. There's a lot of things to see and do there as well as visit Velika Planina, which is up on the hill. We'll take a cable car there as another optional experience, which is the oldest cattle herder area, and it's still up there. You can see and taste some incredible things up there as well. Local cheeses. After Bled, we'll make our way back to Ljubljana, where we will end our tour together, flying out from different destinations. Like I said before, it's the most incredible opportunity, and I can't wait for all of us to experience all of this together, either resting or taking some of our optional excursions. So, all right, everyone, let's drink some water and saddle up.
Very nice.